Time for State of the Nation, amongst other things. Plus, we're going to have a yarn about wool and what to do with that troubled child. We are joined now by Craig Carr. He's the GM of Carrfields, one of New Zealand's leading agribusiness companies. And Craig, before we talk about wool, I want to talk about the state of the nation and putting some of the government policies and environmental constraints to one side that are affecting farming at the moment. I can't think back in my 35 odd years in this business where the planets have been better aligned for the primary sector price-wise than they are right now. So let's start with the real positive.
Yeah, good afternoon, Jamie. No, it's really positive. I mean, prices out there right across all sectors, as you've just said, are pretty strong. I mean, look at the lamb price, winter contracts where they are right now. The milk price, fine wool's been really strong, come off a bit in the last few weeks, but beef really good, venison really good, and, you know, we're out there planting spring crops and getting spring crops in the ground, and those prices have gone up too a bit in the last 12 months, which is really good for the arable guys. Really positive sort of sentiment out there in terms of price.
Craig, what are you guys doing in the wool space? Because it is the troubled child. It is the elephant in the room for the primary sector at the moment. This is strong wool, of course. The returns are abysmal. I go back 35 years or whatever. I can remember selling strong wool at auction in about 1986. How many years ago is that? That's about 33 years ago for $5.05. If we were to get that for strong wool in today's market, if you inflation indexed it back to then, bearing in mind all the high inflation we went through under Rogernomics in the late 80s, I reckon that would make strong wool the equivalent of about $15 a kilo. Imagine if we were getting that much for wool to go with our $150 lambs. There would be a sheep boom on.
Yeah, absolutely. I think talking to farmers and sheep farmers right across the country, I mean, getting a lot more than they're getting for wool today would be very, very positive. But, you know, look, I mean, every industry goes through its tough points. I mean, look at logging in the last few months. It's going to have a bit of a tough time, and wool's no different. We've had a tough few years of low, depressed prices, but it doesn't actually stop companies out there like ourselves really looking at how we can, you know, further improve those returns. And I mean, we've talked on previous sort of radio shows, Jamie, about what we're doing with NZ yarn and hemp and innovating new yarn types and all those type of things. So, you know, as companies such as ours, we're just continuing to invest in new markets. We've got to de-risk ourselves from China. We've got to find, you know, thousands of new uses for wool that will drive that demand. Because, as we all know, it's a fantastic product, and with less ever-changing and challenges on the environment, natural fibres is absolutely going to be a key part of future products more and more as we go forward in the future. So it's just about investment, it's about innovation, and it's about technology, and we're all doing that.
Hey, your company, CP Wool, I was reading a press release this morning where you've got your wool is gracing the floors or the carpets of Emirates first-class cabins, as well as the lofty heights of the US President's sky taxi, nothing less than Air Force One. So Donald Trump is trampling around on our wool. That's a frightening thought.
Yeah, so any of those people who either fly first class or just walk past first class cabins at Emirates thinking, I wish I was in there, take a look at the floor next time you walk past. You'll see beautiful New Zealand wool carpet with sort of sparkly lights in it, and that's, you know, yarn that comes directly from here in New Zealand to the US. It's all handmade by specialty manufacturers and goes into these sort of markets, you know. Not only sort of have we got it going into aircraft, we're doing a lot now in the designer store space. We've just got new carpet going into the Tom Ford store in Milan, and there's many, many other high-end names and brands that we're working with. So that's all coming right here from New Zealand farms.
All right, Craig, I've got to wrap this. I'm out of time, but a final question for you. How's that capital raise going for your primary wool co-op, bearing in mind that farmers have probably been a bit reluctant to invest in wool?
The capital raise is going really well. I think we're nudging the $1 million mark now, and, you know, farmers are really positive. We've been out visiting a few. We've had a few phone calls. But they're really positive because they know they need to invest in the future, and primary wool, you know, it is the largest wool cooperative in the country. It transacts over 16 million kilos of wool, and really they know as shareholders in a wool business they need to invest to further invest in technology, plant equipment and innovation. So No, they're going well. The co-op's going well, and the capital raise is going really well, better than expectations. So it's fantastic, really.
Who would have thought Donald Trump on Air Force One is walking around on New Zealand wool carpets? Anyhow, Craig Carr, thank you very much for your time today on The Country. Always good to chew the fat.
Yeah, thanks very much, Jamie. Good afternoon.